What's up, guys? This is Ray Volpe, and you're here with Neon Owl at Ubbi Dubbi.
Hi everyone, this is Julie.
I'm Ray Volpe,
and you're watching Neon Owl at Ubbi Dubbi. Awesome. No, thanks for hanging with us, Ray.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
Yeah, how are you feeling? This is day one of Ubbi Dubbi.
Exciting.
Yeah. And is this your first time also playing?
First time at Ubbi Dubbi, and it being a day one also adds extra excitement because it's like the most energy for everybody, I feel like. So it's really exciting, a lot of pressure.
That's awesome. Exciting, nervousness, kind of the same difference or
Absolutely.
Same energy.
Same thing, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so have you also ever been to Texas?
Yeah, I've done a bunch of shows here. I did a headline tour back in, I want to say August or September last year, and they were both sold out in Dallas and Houston, which was crazy. So to come back here and now play a cool festival like this is like dream come true for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like talking about kind of like you headlining and like, you know, you have had massive success, obviously with Laserbeam, and you're an amazingly talented producer and artist. I kind of want to take it back to the beginning. Okay. So I read that you started music or production when you were 12.
Yeah.
So how did 12-year-old Ray start music or find music?
So I was making video game montages. I was editing COD videos. So basically, think when FaZe Clan was not doing influencer stuff and they were literally just doing trick shots and posting clips, I was editing videos, not for FaZe Clan, but similar stuff. Like I would take cool videos of people getting crazy kill combos or trick shots, and I would edit them with electronic music. And I was like, this music's really cool. So I was like, let me try to make it. So
awesome. That's what happened. So you started in video editing.
I come from a film production background basically. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you studied or?
Yeah, when I was in I got studied because I was in middle school. It was what I do everything when I was in my free time at home. I would always be doing stuff with any type of video editing and graphic design. So I actually thought it was kind of an easy jump because anyone that might know the Adobe suite like Premiere Pro, I think that program, the edit in, is kind of, there's a lot of parallels to Ableton, which is what I make music in, in terms of the structure of how it's formatted. So I actually think that if you work in video, it's kind of easy to transition to music. Not easy, but it's an easy transition to go from those programs.
As opposed to kind of starting from scratch.
Yeah, not ever seeing anything like that before.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a pretty unique start.
I think so. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And also kind of looking at the beginning and where you are now, what have been some of your favorite moments? And also, what are some of the most challenging moments for you?
I think some of my favorite moments have been just going around the world now and playing shows in places like in Tokyo or in Belgium when I did Rampage. Being able to do these crazy events in anywhere that's not America is insane to me because dubstep is still a niche. It's still very much its own kind of thing, and it's blown up so much in recent years that, to be able to have it take you anywhere in the world is just really cool. But as for the challenges, I think it would be kind of the struggle of getting out of this kind of down period that I had at the end of 2019, early 2020, before the pandemic started, where I wasn't really sure if this career was gonna work out anymore.
Yeah, and I think I read about that as well. And I know for artists, mental health is especially important.
100%.
So what are some things that you have done to kind of help yourself get out of that slump and in general for your mental health to unwind and balance yourself?
Absolutely. There's a couple things. I still struggle with it to this day because everyone does. It's not something that you can just master. But I go to therapy. Therapy is massive. It's huge. I think everyone should be in therapy. Maybe might not be the solution for everyone, but I think everyone should at least try it. I journal. I like to write down just how I'm feeling, even if it's something really small, even if it's positive or negative or neutral, just anything about something. And I walk every day. I walk twice a day, usually about 45 minutes in the morning and at night. I do miss a day every now and then just because of the travel, but walking is a really good way to clear your mind, and it helps you kind of just de-stress because you're being physical, which is it's an physical activity, which is good, but then also just being able to not have to think about anything and clear your mind and get a lot of clarity. It's really nice. Sometimes I remember, I think I came up with the very original kind of melody for my Marshmello collab on a walk. I remember distinctly coming up with that and humming it, putting it into a voice note, and then it ended up being
That's awesome. So you had a collab with Marshmello in February that just released.
Yeah.
So how'd that come about? You said you sent a melody over, or did he send a melody over, or something?
So him and I go way back to 2016, 2017. He's been extremely supportive of my project over the years, and it's been really cool to get to know him. I sent him over a bunch of whips that I had just sitting around for just playouts, and I was definitely like in this kind of headspace of like, well, they're not finished, so if he wants to work on any of them, that'd be sick. But that wasn't really my intention. It was just like, hey, like, here's some stuff, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And he actually, one of them he really liked, and it was like this 30-40% just whip, you know, that was just sitting with like a drop. And I was like, do you want to work on this? And he's like, dude, absolutely. So, you know, we hung out, got together, started working on it together. He's so good with like melody, and like he's such like a, like he knows instruments so well. It's really crazy to watch him. So I'm really stoked about how that came together.
That's awesome. And do you yourself play some instruments?
No.
The DAW is your instrument.
The DAW is my instrument. I tried to play piano when I was young and I failed. I tried to play guitar when I was young and I failed. I'm really good at Guitar Hero. Not much guitar IRL.
That's something.
That's something, right?
That's something.
That's just hand-eye coordination. That's just DJing, basically.
You gotta know what buttons map to like the colors.
I was meant to DJ, because it's the same thing. Buttons and colors, that's all it is.
Yeah? I mean, if you put it that way.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so kind of like, you talked about your collab with Marshmello, and then obviously you have Laserbeam.
Yeah.
And so that had massive success last year. So did you expect it to go
like
the way it did?
Not at all. I think it was a shock to everybody, to me, my team, like everyone, because I made the song purely because I just thought it was cool to have the vocal in there. Like I just like thought of this idea. I was like, this is a cool way to like kind of wrap around a theme to the track about lasers, and I thought it was cool. And when I sent it to Excision, he usually replies to everything I send him, but that one time he didn't. I was like, oh, he doesn't like it, whatever, it's cool. And then he ended up playing it at Thunderdome, which is when everything kind of took off. And at that moment, I was in the crowd with my girlfriend, and we felt the room. We felt like the energy. It was like different than anything I've ever experienced hearing one of my songs being played before. Of course, there's aspects of, there was lasers being used for the first time in the set, but like the vocal just roaring of everybody cheering in the crowd was something I've never experienced, and it caught on so quick. We didn't expect it at all. It was definitely kind of a track that we were just like, it's cool, but never expected to.
It's kind of hard to know which track will land necessarily. It's kind of like you just keep making and doing what you love, and then it's like
you never know. Like this it's always the ones that you least expect. We were fully prepared to just grind and like slowly climb this ladder of just working really hard, which we still do, but we were never expecting a track to have a breakthrough track. We thought it was going to be we're just working our way up, and you guys I gain more fans and more listeners and make more friends and all that stuff, but we didn't expect anything to pop. That was crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I feel like you're a really versatile producer. You just had a release also on Ophelia that's an emotional chill. It gave me chills when I listened to it, so I loved it. But you have that type of music, and then you also have Laserbeam, and which is headbanging kind of harder stuff. So what is for the producers out there, and I'm also personally a producer, so I'm curious.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious what your process was for Laserbeam and the more melodic tracks, and I feel like you also really write from the heart.
100%.
I could feel it. I feel like if folks are feeling it, if the crowd is feeling it, there's a chance that you also, if you're feeling it, there's a chance that others around you are also feeling it.
No, definitely. And I'm glad that you said that, because that's something that I like to think is at the core of my music, is that it does come from me entirely, not even a little bit from anything else. It's very much what I'm feeling in that moment, or maybe in the past because it's an older song or whatever, but it's what I feel. It's put onto paper. And when it comes to whether it's Laserbeam, I was just feeling I wanted to make something kind of upbeat, fast-paced, trappy. It's dubstep, trappy, headbang stuff, and I wanted to make something that was very fun, and that's what that was, when I want to make something fun. And then with Meant to Be Lonely, the melodic song from Ophelia, it comes down to just sometimes I'm writing little melodies and I'm getting into my feels about stuff, and I go through top lines a lot, different vocals, and Donatella's manager had reached out with a bunch of stuff, and that there was a demo from her, and she's so incredibly talented, an incredible songwriter and singer, and it was think Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, slow guitar pop, that kind of track. It was that's what the demo was. It meant to be lonely.
Pretty stripped down.
Yes,
right?
Very stripped down. It's literally 100 BPM. It's not meant for bass music, EDM at all. And it was so nice. And I remember thinking I want to take this and just try to EDM bassify it. So I sped it up I pitched up a couple of semitones, and I think doing stuff like that is a cool way to like get new fresh ideas out of it. So like take something from pop, make it something it wasn't supposed to be, and that's what ended up coming from that.
Yeah, that's really cool that you kind of like saw it from that angle.
Yeah,
and kind of like gave it your own spin.
It's a cool way to like try to make something fresh out of ideas when you're maybe struggling, because I'm constantly struggling. I'm struggling all the time. I have imposter syndrome all the time. I have writer's block all the time. So sometimes I'm just doing random stuff like that, like, hey, this is not supposed to be 50 BPM sped up. Let's try it and see what happens.
Right.
It surprisingly worked. Maybe it doesn't work, but that's something I definitely like to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like for, when you do have writer's block, like what are some of the things that you do to help unblock it? I know you mentioned earlier you like take walks and you think of melodies.
Yep, walks help a lot. Also, not forcing it by any means is like the biggest thing, because sometimes if you're really forcing it, it's just gonna make it worse.
Right.
I like to play video games if I can. Just like I usually just play Fortnite with my friends, or like any type of open world like RPG or something like that. Otherwise, if I'm talking music, try to get out of the block. I will try to just make other genres. I'll start making like tech house, or I'll start making like pop stuff, or anything. I try to like just make something small all the time. That way, if I just make like a melody and it's like the most random 4 bars of a chord progression, and I make that today because I can't work on anything else and I've been in a writer's block, I might come back to that melody in like 2 weeks and be like, ooh, that's actually sick. Let me use that in this other song I have. I constantly like combine whips and ideas together. So it's a good way if you're in a block to just like start random tiny pieces and just add them up over time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like when you were starting off, I'm not sure if you knew from the beginning you wanted to, or like you would get to kind of like the big stage and everything. And
definitely
like,
didn't know.
Yeah, so like I feel like in the beginning it was kind of like out of interest, and like it was like, fun and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when the opportunities start flowing in and things like that, there's like a fight for time and like things like that. So how do you ensure that there's still the element of fun in what you're doing as a musician?
That's a really good question, actually. I don't know. I think it comes down to trying to make sure, I guess, like what I'm making is pure to me, because there's definitely, I've gotten opportunities where it's like, hey, you want to do this remix, and maybe the fee is like crazy, but like I don't know this song and I don't know the artist, and I'm like, I want to do stuff that feels right for me, so I'm gonna pass on this respectfully, so it's like knowing when you have, because like the industry, like the thing is that the music's a business. I think some people understand that, some people don't, and they only use it kind of like a hobby, or they want to make it a job. So it's trying to balance that and ride that wave in the correct way, and know when you should do certain things and when maybe it's the best option to not. So like for me, it's just trying to make sure I stay true to myself, but also understanding what's the best business decision at the same time. So that way I can still have fun with this and make it, because it's a job, but it is my life and it's my passion. So it's like, how do you make sure it's still fun? It's just really kind of weighing out all the options that you have in front of you always, and also making sure to just try to make the best I can with it, like on stage. Honestly, I think when I perform, keeping that, because sometimes making music is the most stressful part, but playing the shows is the most fun. So I have a lot of fun making sure that the sets are really fun. That way, like, I have a blast out there, because when I see everyone else out there and they're having fun, I'm having the best time ever. So that's kind of like the redeeming factor for me.
Yeah, I love that when you said that, like making stuff that's pure to you, kind of like being more selective with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is something that you would attribute, like what are like the top 3 things you would attribute to kind of like getting to where you're at now? You could be like characteristics, attributes of yourself, like factors and
got
things
you.
like
There's things that got me here truly was, there's a handful of things. I'll run through them. Dedication, patience. I've been making music since I was 12. I'm 25, almost 26 now. And that's a long time. And there was a long period of time where people knew my name, but it wasn't enough. So it's a lot of patience, a lot of
2019-ish or
2019. Yeah, so like I think 2016, 2017 people started to learn who I was, and I started becoming like a name in the scene. But nothing really escalated from there. And then in 2018 is where it kind of started to dip a bit. But so it's just patience, determination. Also, the right people behind you is massive. I was dropped by my former management very early 2020. They didn't believe in what I was doing at all. And that's fine, because I feel like I was able to prove that incorrectly by having a new team that really believes in me. With my new manager, my new booking agent, my girlfriend who's heavily involved in the project. She's been working in the industry for 8 years, I think, on her own before she even knew me. And she's like a hardcore crutch to like everything, you know?
That's awesome.
So having people that have been fighting for me and pushing me and helping me, it's having the right people around you. I think that's a big thing, is just making sure, because I think a lot of people, and it's kind of a piece of advice to give to people that are aspiring, I think a lot of people will look and they'll be like, I want to be on this company, this label, this anything, whatever it is. It could go from management, booking, it could be labels for music, anything. And those are great goals to have. But sometimes being with something that like smaller or maybe more boutique or more honed in, maybe don't have the craziest roster of artists, but they have more passion and time for you, is going to drive you, because you have people that are backing you and that love you, and sometimes that does more, you know. So it depends, you know. It's just having the right people around you, I think, is a massive a massive piece. It's just the right team, the right people, you know?
Yeah, it really takes a team for like an artist. You know, you see one DJ up there, but it's really like an army in a village.
Absolutely, you know. It's like never just me. Like it's, you know, the music is just me, but everything with the brand is all on my girlfriend. Everything that's like a long-term decision is just, you know, both her and my manager, my booking agent, like Pat and Peter, those are my manager and my agents. Like without Pat, Peter, and Jess, like nothing is like, we're all Ray Volpe at the end of the day, you know.
I love that.
Even my business manager.
I love that.
Yeah, like we're all so hands-on to this, and it's important, you know.
Yeah.
Those are building blocks that are important. Without one, the rest falls.
For sure. That kind of reminds me of like, you know, going to college and like picking the brand name versus like what's good for you. So it's like picking what's good for you is what, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up soon, but what can we expect in 2023 for Ray Volpe?
There's a lot coming. I'm excited about it. I have an EP that I'm working on that I'm very excited to share. When does this air?
Sorry?
When will this air?
This will air probably like within the next month or so.
Next month or so? First single might be out. Maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll find out.
Stay tuned.
We'll stay tuned. And then a new headline tour in the fall that I'm extremely excited about. And some festivals that I just can't believe I'm playing. Like EDC later this year.
Yeah, Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
That's in a month.
Yeah, that's next. I can't believe it. Yeah. I don't know how. Like I know how, but like I just don't.
So this is the imposter syndrome in you
speaking. Yeah, I'm like, what? How that happened? But it's like I know, but it's crazy. So stuff like EDC or Tomorrowland, like there's so many. Tomorrowland, yeah. That's gonna be very fun. I'm very excited.
Have you attended?
No, I think it's gonna be crazy.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, that's scary to me.
That's gonna be great.
I'm very excited.
I'm sure you'll kill it.
I hope so.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Now, last question before we completely wrap up. What's something that you're really grateful for?
My team.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's like, I would probably be dead without them. Like genuinely. Like I would, like I'm nothing without them. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for hanging with us.